Benchwarmer. The name badge was warm when she pressed it into my hand. Not from the room. From her. My mother-in-law's smile was polished. Artificial. The kind of smile people wear when they're performing for a crowd. Here, she said lightly. Just one word. I glanced down. White plastic. Black letters. Benchwarmer. For a moment I thought it was a joke. Something playful. Something harmless. Then I looked up. 320 guests stood, under crystal chandeliers, in the ballroom of the Meridian. Grand champagne glasses. Designer suits. Polished laughter echoing across marble floors. And my wife, Claire. She saw the badge. She didn't look surprised. She laughed. A quick laugh, sharp, cutting. Then she leaned toward me, lowering her voice like she was sharing a secret. Food's for family. Her breath smelled like expensive wine. My fingers tightened around the plastic badge. I looked at the long dining table in the center of the room. 30 chairs, all filled. Her parents, her cousins, investors, friends, a perfect, glowing family portrait. One chair was missing. Mine. My chest didn't burn. It went cold, very cold. I reached up slowly, removed my wedding ring. The band slid off easily. Too easily. 320 guests watched. I walked to the center of the table and placed the ring on the white linen cloth, right in front of Claire. The room fell silent. They thought they had put me in my place. They had no idea what I was about to do next. Humiliation is a strange feeling. It doesn't explode. It seeps, like poison through a bloodstream. Claire didn't pick up the ring. She just stared at it, then at me. Her smile twitched. "Don't be dramatic," she whispered. Dramatic. The word rolled around inside my skull. 3 years of marriage. 2 years of me helping build her father's company. 1 year of funding the luxury expansion that made tonight's celebration possible. And apparently, I was a benchwarmer. I glanced around the ballroom again. People avoided eye contact now. Some stared into their wine glasses. Some whispered. But a few were smiling. Her cousin Nathan, her brother Liam. They looked entertained. Like this was part of the show. Claire finally picked up the ring, held it between 2 fingers. "You're embarrassing yourself," she said quietly. That was when I noticed something strange. Not the ring, not the table. Her phone. It buzzed in her hand. She glanced at it, and for half a second, fear crossed her face. Just a flicker. Gone instantly. But I saw it. Because for months, I had been watching her. The late nights, the locked phone, the sudden business meetings, the new perfume she never wore for me. At first I told myself it was stress, then work, then imagination. But the human mind has a talent. It notices patterns, and patterns had been forming for a long time. Tonight wasn't the beginning. Tonight was the reveal. I looked at Claire one more time, then at the table, then at the badge in my hand. Benchwarmer. I smiled. Not at her. At the quiet realization settling in my chest. This party, this humiliation, this whole performance, it wasn't meant to hurt me. It was meant to erase me. The investigation started long before tonight. It started with silence. I never accused Claire, never questioned her, never searched her phone. That would have been emotional. And emotions are sloppy. Instead, I observed. Small details, patterns, her phone bills, her calendar, her sudden fitness classes every Thursday evening, her credit card charges near the Riverside district, a place she claimed she hated. I hired someone quietly, a private investigator named Daniel. He never asked why. Professionals rarely do. 3 weeks later, he handed me a folder. Photographs, timestamps, locations, Claire, and a man. Tall, confident, dark hair. They met often. Restaurants, hotels. Once, at our lake house. That photo was the one that hurt. Not because she was there. Because she had told me she needed space. I studied the man's face for a long time. Something about him felt familiar. Daniel flipped the last page. Name. Occupation. Adrian Locke. My stomach twisted slightly. Adrian Locke, one of the primary investors in my father-in-law's company. Which meant something else. Claire hadn't just been having an affair. She'd been having a strategic affair. Money. Power. Influence. I didn't confront her. Not yet. Instead, I started asking quieter questions. Legal questions. Financial questions. Questions about ownership shares. Because over the last year, Claire's father had slowly moved company assets into Claire's name. And Claire had been pushing me, very gently, to sign new financial agreements. Trust papers. Investment transfers. I declined everyone, politely, and watched her smile tighten each time. Then Daniel called again. His voice sounded different. He's planning something, he said. Who? Your wife. And Locke. What kind of something? Daniel paused. Something public. That was when I received the invitation. The company's grand celebration. 320 guests. Investors. Media. Family. Claire insisted I attend. She even bought me a suit. Now I understood why. The humiliation wasn't spontaneous. It was staged. A message. You don't belong here. But they had made one mistake. They assumed I didn't understand the game. 2 hours before the party began, Daniel handed me one more envelope. No charge, he said. Inside was a document. Corporate transfer authorization. Signed by Claire. Signed by her father. And waiting. For my signature. It would transfer my 25% company stake. To Claire. Effective immediately. A legal ambush. The party wasn't a celebration. It was an execution. Once I signed, I would disappear. No ownership. No voice. Just a bench warmer. I folded the document calmly. Did Locke know about this? I asked. Daniel nodded. He helped draft it. I felt something settle inside me then. A quiet certainty. Not anger. Not heartbreak. Just clarity. Later, in the ballroom, Claire finally spoke again. Pick the ring up, she whispered. No. Her eyes narrowed. You're making a scene. I leaned closer. My voice soft. Did Adrian help you design the badge? Her face drained of color. For the first time that night, Claire looked afraid. You're drunk, she said quickly. No. I reached into my jacket, pulled out the envelope, and placed it beside the ring. Go ahead, I said quietly. Open it. Her fingers trembled as she unfolded the paper. She read, then read it again. Her lips parted slightly. How? Daniel's good at his job. The room was watching now, waiting. Claire looked up at me slowly, her voice barely audible. You weren't supposed to see this. I nodded. I know. I turned toward the crowd. 320 guests, investors, family, predators. Good evening, I said calmly. My voice carried through the room. Claire grabbed my arm. Don't. Too late. I want to thank Claire and her father, I continued. They've planned a very interesting evening. Whispers rippled across the ballroom. Her father stood up suddenly. What is this? I held up the document. A corporate transfer agreement. Silence. Then I added quietly, one designed to remove me from the company tonight. Gasps. Claire's face went pale. That's not... I raised another paper. The photos. Claire. Adrian. The lake house. The hotel. The restaurant. The crowd leaned forward. Hungry. Adrian Locke pushed through the guests. His jaw tight. You're out of line. Am I? I slid the photos across the table. They stopped in front of Claire's father. He stared. His face hardened, then changed. Shock, rage. Claire? She couldn't speak. Adrian stepped forward again. This proves nothing. I smiled faintly. You're right. Then I revealed the final document. Phone records, hotel receipts, corporate communications. The room exploded with whispers. Claire's father looked like someone had punched through his chest. You used our company, he said hoarsely. Claire began to cry. Adrian backed away slowly. I reached down, picked up my wedding ring, turned it once between my fingers, then placed it back on the table. Not for Claire. For the audience. I was never a bench warmer, I said quietly. I was the majority shareholder. Every head snapped up. Claire blinked. What? I slid one last document forward. Ownership confirmation. 51%. Transferred months ago. By her father, who never bothered to read the updated agreements. The room fell completely silent. Claire whispered. You planned this? I looked at her calmly. No. A pause. I prepared for it. I left the ballroom while the shouting started. Voices rising. Accusations. Lawyers already dialing phones. Claire screaming Adrian's name. Her father demanding explanations. The elevator doors closed quietly. Silence at last. I looked down at my hand. The ring was still warm from the table. 3 years of marriage. Reduced to a circle of gold. Funny how small betrayal looks when you hold it in your palm. Outside, the night air felt clean. Cold. I dropped the ring into the fountain outside the hotel. It vanished beneath the water without a sound. Somewhere inside that building, Claire's world was collapsing. Careers, reputations, family, all unraveling, but none of it belonged to me anymore. I walked down the steps slowly. Free, not victorious, not angry, just finished. Because the truth about betrayal is simple. The moment someone tries to erase you, you stop being part of their story and start writing the end of it.